All forms Luffy. Kid Luffy, divided into two parts. When Luffy was first shown in the manga, chapter 1, you see him scarring himself. He did not have a devil fruit at the time as of yet, but then he really ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Later on as a kid, Shanks gave him the straw hat and told him to become a great pirate, and because Luffy said he would surpass them and find the One Piece. And his phrase, "I will become the Pirate King." Also, Kid Luffy, we've seen with the ASL, the A Sabo Luffy flashback. He was just a kid who couldn't really control his devil fruit, but really was a really honest, earned kid. He would not sell out Ace and Sabo, and that was Kid Luffy. And as a kid, Luffy said he wants to become stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. 14-year-old Luffy, we didn't really see much of him 14-year-old Luffy, but we did see him in the Ace Departure saying goodbye, and we saw him a little bit of his moveset when he destroyed the rock. Luffy had major improvements from a kid. East Blue Luffy. This is when Monkey D. Luffy became Straw Hat Pirate Luffy and went out on his journey to find his crew members and to find the One Piece and eventually become Pirate King. This is where it all started for him in the East Blue, and it went further and further. Water Luffy. We've seen Water Luffy against Crocodile and Alabasta, and though it did seem comedic, it was actually a really good form. He was really using it into counter Crocodile. Gear Second Luffy. This is when Luffy went into his, you could call it the Super Saiyan form, because this is the first transformation in which Luffy's all his abilities was faster, stronger, and however you want to say it, but it became more powerful. Jet Pistol, Jet Bazooka, Jet Gatlin, the infamous Jet Gatlin. Gear Third Luffy. Gear Third Luffy is pretty much a learning from when he does Fusen. He became an arm of a giant, and you see him with the arm of a giant, the stomp of a giant. A lot of his body parts were becoming giants, and Lucci had a really good taste of that. Kid Luffy when he goes to Gear Third. You see, the side effect of Gear Third is right after Gear Third, back in pre-time skip, Luffy would always turn into a kid, and that's what happened to him. He just turned into not even like a kid, because Kid Luffy was kind of bigger than that. He just turned into like a Tontada. Nightmare Luffy. That Thriller Bark rain is when Luffy absorbs all these shadows, learns to be a swordsman, and takes on Oz as Nightmare Luffy. Oz didn't know it was coming. It was pretty much destruction. He had no chance. Moria was getting some of that work inside of Oz, and it was just pure amazing. In the same arc, Gear Second and Gear Third Luffy was introduced. That was when Luffy took his body to the next level, and he combined Gear Second and Gear Third to defeat Moria. And I gotta say, I never want to see Luffy go to that point in which he has to do it, but he has to do that sometimes. When an enemy keeps on not going down, you have to do anything you can to bring them down. Post-time skip Luffy. Post-time skip Luffy is really him after the time skip, and I gotta say, post-time skip Luffy had ornament haki, had observation haki, had king's haki, and you can see he's combining his gears with his haki, which made him really formidable. And recently introduced in Dressrosa, Gear 4th Luffy. You see, Gear 4th Luffy, I don't know what I can say. It combined Gear Second and Gear Third. That's the best I can say about Gear 4th Luffy. The side effect, yes, it was horrible because you can't use haki for 10 minutes, but when he has Gear 4 Luffy, he has the destruction, he has the speed, he has pretty much anything that can overcome Doflamingo, one of the strongest pirates in the whole story of One Piece, and he pretty much destroyed Doflamingo. So Gear 4th Luffy was an amazing transformation. Now that I have told you all the transformations, here are some predictions. I definitely think that Luffy will go up to Gear 5th. I think Gear 5th is pretty much confirmed. I'm not gonna say confirmed because it hasn't been confirmed, but for me personally, I think that Gear 5th probably will be shown in the story. Awakening. Back in Dressrosa, Doflamingo we didn't introduce, but he pretty much shown awakening for Paramecias, and we usually just seen that for Zoan. So Luffy being a Paramecia awakened Devil Fruit, bringing his Devil Fruit to the next level, I promise you that's gonna happen. That is pretty much confirmed because there's no reason of introducing it. Back on Water 7, Luffy saw how CP9 were using their techniques, and his lobby, he used their techniques. It could be the same for Awakening. Gear 4th other forms. I know a lot of people have seen Bound Man, and they really think that Bounce Man is not the last form of Gear 4th. And honestly, I might agree with them. We saw Bounce Man when Rayleigh was on the island. He had 6 months by himself. I definitely feel like he has different forms for Bounce Man, and it would be really epic if he did. Even though the sidekick is too much, let's see what he has before he goes into Gear 4th and Awakening, and that is pretty much it for this video. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. What was your favorite form of Luffy, and what do you think his future forms are gonna be? I'm really excited to see what Oda does with Luffy. Like and share if you enjoyed this, like and share only if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more One Piece videos. I'm the Legend Mac, and I'm gone.